चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयूतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमद् नामिने। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमद् भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नाम्ने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशैतारिणे। मूगं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमः वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरम्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शुश्रूषो श्रद्धानस्य वासुदेवकथारुचिः स्यान्महत्सेवया विप्र पुण्यतीर्थनिषेवनात्। शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तन हृदि अन्धस्थो ह्यभद्राणि विधुनोति सुकृत्सताम्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिं पावति नैष्टिकी। कृष्ण तथा रजस्तमो भावकामलोपादेश्च ये चेदेर्नाविद्धं स्थितं सत्त्वे प्रसीदति। एवं प्रसन्नमनसो भगवद्भक्तियोगतः भगवत्तत्त्वविज्ञानं मुक्तसङ्गस्य जायते। विद्यते हृदये ग्रन्थि स्थित्यन्ते सर्वसंशयाः क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि दृष्टयेवात्मनीश्वरे। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्घ्रे। So we are reading from Canto 3, Chapter 3, Text 22 today. Let me share the screen. Okay. 1 second. Share screen. Okay, share. Share. Okay. So let's read the words. Oh my goodness, so many things. Okay. Tasyaivam ramamanasya samvatsara ganan bahun grahamedheshu yogeshu viraga samajayata. One more time. Tasyaivam ramamanasya samvatsara ganan bahun grahamedheshu yogeshu viraga Samajayatam. I'm not having the synonyms on the screen. Prabhu Lashmikat Prabhu, can you please read the synonyms?
I need to open. So that's fine, Mataji. You can read translation, I think.
Okay. So translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The Lord was thus engaged in household life for many, many years. But at last, his detachment from ephemeral sex life was fully manifested. Purport. Even though the Lord is never attached to any kind of material sex life, as the universal teacher, he remained a householder for many, many years, just to teach others how one should live in householder life. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura explains that the word samajayata means fully exhibited. In all his activities while present on the earth, the Lord exhibited detachment. This was fully displayed when he wanted to teach by example that one should not remain attached to household life for all the days of one's life. One should naturally develop detachment as a matter of course. The Lord's detachment from household life does not indicate detachment from his eternal associates, the transcendental cowherd damsels. But the Lord desired to end his so-called attachment to the three modes of material nature. He can never be detached from the service of his transcendental associates like Rukmini and other goddesses of fortune. As described in the Brahma Samhita 529, Lakshmi Sahasra Shathasam Brahma Sevyamanam. So Govindamani Varsham Tamaham Bhajami. So this is a continuation from yesterday's verse, so I will bring it up. But we have to see yesterday's verse. Candle 3, chapter 3, text 21. So here, excuse me, whatever is going on with that. Okay, so here in the yesterday's verse, Mukunda was reading this verse and he was saying the Lord enjoyed his pastimes both in this world and in other worlds, higher planets, specifically in the association of the Yadu dynasty. At leisure hours offered by night, he enjoyed the friendship of conjugal love with women. So today's verse is a continuation of this verse. Here, Uddhava is narrating the pastimes of the Lord out of Vrindavana, that is in Dwarka pastimes. And so here he is talking about his householder life. And how many queens did he have? 16,108. So he associated with all those queens in a typical householder man would do, activities a typical householder would do. When Narada Muni visited each palace, he saw the Lord engaged in in taking care of his small children, in joking and enjoying with his favorite queens, and sometimes playing a game of dice with his with the queen, and also Uddhava also would be there. So he was doing so, and sometimes he would be offering prayers, and sometimes he would be taking care of so many householder duties. So Narada Muni was bewildered. The Supreme Lord is engaging in so many, mundane type of activities. In fact, Narada was received with perfect respect and reverence. Lord washed his feet and sprinkled the water on his on all the on the royal household members. So Narada was bewildered. All these palaces, each and every place, he was engaged so properly. So when Narada was about to, Narada praised the Lord, and when he was he expressed his bewilderment, the Lord is telling him in verse number 40, that is 1069, verse number 40, the Supreme Personality of God had said, "O Brahmana, I am the speaker of religion, its performer and sanctioner. I observe religious principles to teach them to the world, my child. So do not be disturbed." So Lord is acting as a teacher and as an example to the householders in this material world. So just like he says, Vedashta sarvaira hameva vedya vedanta krit vedavid yevachaham. So he is the creator of the Vedas and the knower of the Vedas. And here he is saying, I am the performer. I am the speaker of religion, its performer and sanctioner. So there is nothing mundane about the Lord's activities anytime. That is why in 4.9 we have Bhagavad Gita 4.9. Janma karma cha me divya evam yo veti tattvadaha tektva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. So one who knows my appearance and activities to be transcendental, divine, divya. He does not take birth again on quitting this body. So the Lord's activities are all removed from the mundane plane. He is acting only as an example to the conditioned souls. So when we think of the Dwarka pastimes, we can remember Rukmini Devi is holding this golden handled chamara and fanning the Lord. And the Lord is saying, oh, you should have married your equal. I am but a cowherd person. How could you do this? And he is joking with her. And she immediately falls down like a cut down banana tree, it is said. Then he manifests his forearms and picks her up and wipes her tears and comforts her and gives her solace and restores her to her normal mood. So it's not that the Lord does not reciprocate with his transcendental associates. He is very, very, very attached to them in that way. So similarly, we can see Queen Satyabhama. Satyabhama sees this Parijata flower when she goes to heavenly planets with the Lord. And then she wants a Parijata tree. So the Lord definitely he brings the Parijata tree for her and plants it in her courtyard. And the King Indra, of course, he wants to put up a resistance. He says, no, you cannot take it. And there was a fight with Indra and his associates. So the Lord seems to act like an attached householder. And he married the 16,000 princesses who were imprisoned by Naragasura. And they all were very happy when the Lord killed Naragasura and appeared before them, and they offered themselves as wives to the Lord. So nobody else would marry them because they have been kidnapped, and but Krishna very magnanimously and very ceremoniously married them all in separate venues with his parents and all the priests and everyone present in each venue. He married them so ceremoniously and give them each a palace. And so he's very, very reciprocative and careful with his internal associates, transcendental or associates. So these are like the Lord reciprocating with his internal potencies. Mundane people would think that, oh, he is behaving like a common man. We can also engage in so much enjoyment. As the enjoyment word does not apply, as in the common sense, it does not apply to the Lord's activities. But people mistake his pastimes in Vrindavana with the cowherd damsels, for example. But they are all his internal potencies, and we are all in the marginal potency of the Lord. And then there is and we are all dealing with the illusory energy of the Lord when we engage materially in our household life, in sex life, etc. So the devotee carefully avoids that kind of falling a victim to the illusory energy or Maya Shakti of the Lord. He always remains aligned with the internal energy of the Lord, or Antaranga Shakti, in his activities. So after enjoying for so many years in so many palaces, Uddhava says Krishna became completely detached from this ephemeral enjoyment. And when we see text in Dwarka pastimes, for example, Dwarka pastimes 111, 36 to 39. Okay, let me just go there. 111, 36 to 39. 11. So here we are going back to our canto 1, chapter 11, and the Lord's entrance into Dwarka. How the queens received after a time of separation. In text 36, although the queen's beautiful smiles, this is talking about how Krishna was detached, although he seemed to be engaged otherwise. So although the queen's beautiful smiles and furtive glances were all spotless and exciting, and although they could conquer Cupid himself by making him give up his bow in frustration, and although even the tolerant Shiva could fall victim to them, still, despite all their magical feats and attractions, they could not agitate the senses of the Lord. So this is how detached Krishna is. The common materialistic conditioned souls speculate that the Lord is one of them. Out of their ignorance, they think that the Lord is affected by matter, although he is unattached. Text 38. This is the divinity of the personality of Godhead. He is not affected by the qualities of material nature, even though he is in contact with them. Similarly, the devotees who have taken shelter of the Lord do not become influenced by the material qualities. So the Lord is called Trayisha. Trayisha, that means he is the Lord of the three. That is he is the controller of the material modes of material nature. He never becomes a victim of the modes of material nature, because enjoyment with the matter, enjoying materially, is when one comes under the influence of the modes. So he is the Lord of the material energy. So he never comes under the influence of material qualities. Now, text 39. The simple and delicate women truly thought that Lord Sri Krishna, their beloved husband, followed them and was dominated by them. They were unaware of the extent of the glories of their husband, as the atheists are unaware of him as the supreme controller. So, it is also, we have also read somewhere. He used to, the devotees of women of Hastinapur praising the Lord. He used to give valuable presents to them and keep them very happy. But here we are reading how detached he was. And so we know those who are his eternal associates, who the gopis in the rasa dance, but some of them were like they qualified themselves to be in the rasa dance. They achieved perfection by his service, and so they were able to enter the rasa dance. So okay, this is basically what Krishna. So this is basically, I mean, we have almost, and then another thing is Krishna, he is said to be a Nitya Brahmachari. When I looked at in the web, I saw one story. I don't know the how authentic, but I saw this story that the gopis, once they were in the association of Krishna, and Krishna told them, sage Durvasa Muni is on the other side of the Yamuna river. So they offered to cook some food for the sage. But when they finished cooking, they said, oh, the Yamuna is swollen, river is swollen. How can we get to the other? There are no boats. How can we get to the other side? So then Krishna told them, go tell the Yamuna, Nitya Brahmachari has asked her to give path. So when the gopis went there, they were surprised at Krishna's command. They went and told what Krishna told them, and the Yamuna gave them path to cross over. And on the other side of the river, Durvasa Muni accepted the bhoga offered by them, and then again the river, they have to cross back. Then Durvasa Muni told them, go tell Yamuna that Nitya Upavasi has told Yamuna to let you cross. So they were bewildered because they just fed him. So they went and told the river, Nitya Upavasi has asked for path for us. So then the river again obliged. So this is one story I came across. So Krishna, all his engagements, they are completely transcendental, removed from the material platform, and conditioned souls mistake. So only through practice of bhakti yoga, we can glean at least a little bit about the activities of the Lord. And that's all. I end here. And if anybody has anything to add, comment. Sorry if I misspoke something. Please forgive. Thank you very much for being here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my this all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept mine too, Prabhu. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Mataji, wonderful discourse today morning. You so nicely described so many things. I have a couple of questions around, the Lord's consorts. Like he had, 16,108 wives and all those things. So, are all his wives under Yogamaya or under Mahamaya, Mataji?
They are all under Yogamaya, because that's what he is. It specifically said he is reciprocating with his eternal associates, that is transcendental. Because it is said that even those, those queens, princesses he rescued, they were all gopis, something like that I've heard. And then another thing I forgot to tell was, when the queens were replying to Draupadi's question, how the Lord, this is a little bit outside your question, Prabhu. I forgot this point when you met him. So that is, Draupadi was asking the queens how to narrate how they got married to Krishna, and the principal queens. And one queen representing the 16,000 princesses, they spoke, and they were all saying, we are just but a maid servant of the Lord, and we want to be eternally engaged in this service to him. So they are like, so they were not like, never in associating with him in that Mahamaya, illusory energy of the Lord. Think. Thank you, Prabhu. That's all I know. Thank you.
Very nice class, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji, for that answer. So, I had a follow-up question.
Yes.
In all the Leelas, when Lord came as Rama, or when Lord came as Krishna, or even when he came as Varaha, his consort is always put into distress of some sort. Like, Varaha Avtara, Bhudevi is taken away, and she's like drowned in the, what do you call, the Viraja river or something like that. No, in the path, in the
Hiranyaksha.
Yeah, whereas Sita Devi is taken away by Ravana, and here the 16,000 gopis are taken away by Bhanasur. So why is it?
Narakasur.
Why is it so, Mataji?
Hare Krishna. Well, see, Krishna exhibits his superhuman, wonderful activities, and he also to destroy the demon, like Hiranyasha, he killed the demon as well as lifted Mother Earth from the bottom of the ocean. So these are all his eternal leelas unfolding before us. So we would think what a boar could do, and he is it's so wonderful pastime. He grows so big, and then he lifts the Mother Earth on his tusk. And so it is amazing Leela. So it is all, it is also giving lot of support to the devotees, whenever you are in distress. Those princesses imprisoned by Narakasura, they were praying to the Lord. And Sita Devi is, completely given to the name Rama on her lips all the time when she is abducted by kidnapped by Ravana. And so these are all sort of teaching us by example. I mean, these are the extreme situations. But in the material world, the Jiva soul is like Prahlad Maharaj, the little boy. When we start reading how he was tortured, how we'll feel, the tender age of five, he's so his own father, teaching him like that, and still he was fearless. So the fearlessness in the face of extreme danger, that is what these situations are teaching us. So Lord alone can rescue us from, like Prahlad says, it is not the doctor, or it is not the, a father or mother who can rescue a child when he is sick, or, so it is just the Lord's mercy that we survive, difficulties in this life. So I think these examples are, very, very instructive. I mean, we take to the heart. Actually, life in our present day life, present day world is so precarious. Living has become so difficult. So it is like Krishna is enabling us day to day. To walk this dangerous path. Question, I hope if you have.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So it is 2 minutes past now. If no more questions, Lakshmikant Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
We can end the class here. Vancha kalpadarupya kripa sindhubhya vaja patitanam pranebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Grandra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare